feel like we probably have personal like stories that are actually interesting. Like each of us.
I know we do.
I could tell one now without using any names. Actually, Mom's gonna watch this episode. I guess whatever.
Damn.
She might. She'll watch it eventually.
Should I edit that out? The name?
Yeah. Well, I won't use any names of people that are actually in the story.
Right. Okay.
And I won't use I won't use any specific locations either.
Clean.
Yeah. But this one, guy I knew, he got in contact with this person who like basically hosted parties for people, and so they would like set up like a venue like in a location, and they would, they'd have all their snacks and whatnot, and some games, and you'd come out and hang out. There was a DJ, and the guy that I knew was actually the guy who was the DJ for it, and they needed some like security, not like a big operation, but like people at the door be like, okay, here, you take the cash, we make sure that it's all accounted for. We make sure people are the right age, we're not letting in any minors, right?
Oh yeah.
So I did that for a little while, and most nights it was pretty chill, and then I would usually do it on like a Saturday night. So one night, dirt hit the fan, right? So I got there. Hey, how's it going? And it turns out, so there was a table where they were playing this, whatever. They were playing some kind of card game over in the corner. And someone playing got pissed at like the dealer or whatever.
Who'd guess,
right? So what happened ended up, I forget who pulled out the gun first, but
damn.
Yeah, they were getting ugly. So I think it was the dude who was playing pulled out a gun, and I don't think he was like being, I mean, obviously you pull out a gun, it's aggressive, but I think he was like, he wasn't pointing it at anybody yet. This other guy, he had a gun, and he started pointing it at the dude.
Two people had guns.
Yeah, two people had guns. Now here's the thing, is like, when that happened, like my immediate thought was like, because I was at the door and we had another guy who was like kind of just like crowd, like, surfing.
Oh, yeah.
And this chick, she's like, hey, she's like, you need to get over here. And I look over and people start running out, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I see this dude like pointing this gun at the other guy. And so I was like, you know what?
I'm leaving.
I was thinking, because I was like, what's sort of my risk to return ratio? I was like, I could die, right? And I'll just die in this dirty warehouse and it'll be over.
It's the end of my life.
Or I could leave with everybody else that has 2 brain cells and let these 2 idiots kill each other. So I was like, yeah, I like that option. Yeah. But then what happened was, like, I didn't actually leave. Like, I just, like, didn't go over. I was, like, kind of watching him and ended up chasing the dude up into a corner and was, like, freaking out and pointing the gun at him. And we ended up, like, I pulled the guy off him because he was, like, gonna shoot him. So I pull him off. I'm, like, grabbing his arm, and it could have been way worse. That night ended up fine, but it could have been so much worse.
Dude.
So
were they drinking?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were drinking, yeah. And
that's that BS.
The problem was I was wanding people down for weapons at the door, right?
You missed them.
Well, that's what I thought. Turns out when I got there, because I would get there before the party started to clock in for my shift, make sure everything was set right. I would help them set things up. And what happened was, because the guy who was in charge of the cards, he was business partners with the owner, who is like managing the whole thing. So he just came in as a friend. I didn't want him, and she didn't want me to. She was like, "That's my guy. Like, just let him in." He didn't even pay anything, right? So he was part of our internal.
Wow.
Right. So that was one thing that happened. So they ended up, me and the other guy who worked security that night, they gave us like, I don't know, I think they gave us like an extra like pay that night, and we left. But after that, they never called me back for like another gig, and I was like, I don't know. But I was kind of fine with it. I was like, yeah, it's probably not a great
You might be dead right
You know,
now.
I could be dead. I was like, I totally could have just been dead.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the crazy thing about people with guns, dude. They're so stupid. Sometimes it seems right when you're drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I used to carry my gun. When I first got my concealed carry license, I would carry my gun everywhere.
Yep.
And it got to the point where I was so comfortable carrying it
Right.
that I would just forget I had it on me. So I would go out with the boys drinking, and I'd be like halfway through the night, like, because it's a felony to have your gun on you in the bar.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, I got my gun on me. Like, people are talking crazy and stuff.
And you're like,
well, you know, I'll kill you, man.
right, right.
But then I'm like, do I want to spend the rest of my life in prison? Like, you have to think real carefully.
So carefully.
When you're drinking, man. Because sometimes a good idea seems fine when you drink. It's like, I'll just pull it out and show it to them. That's a felony.
That's a felony.
You know,
Brandishing a
somebody wants to
weapon,
talk trash
in
to
a
me,
place you're
yeah.
not even supposed to have one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a gun pulled on me at a bar one time in Dickinson. Standing outside the bar. I was with these two girls. Standing outside the bar. They were smoking. I'm standing out there, and this black guy comes out. Of course, well,
Amen.
Maintain.
I mean,
Seth, pull that mic up.
in the
man.
name of
You're
God.
on the show now.
now you're in the show now.
This is welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Pull it up, brother.
Welcome to BTG.
You can take the headphones off of it.
Everybody, welcome Clean Asian.
I didn't think it was rolling.
Yeah, whatever. It's
It's
After
kind of
dark.
rolling.
Yeah, it's the After Dark show.
But yeah, I'm standing outside the bar, and this guy comes out. He was in an altercation with some other dude. Pulls out a gun, starts pointing at him. Everybody's like, "Bro, you need to get out of here." Somebody already called the cops, but he was hammered. You could see it in his face. You know, they get that glazed look on their face.
Yeah.
Like he's like, ugh, looking around, just pissed. Like couldn't understand what anybody was saying. And so we're all standing around. I've told this story before, I think, but we're all standing around. So I'm just looking at him. Like, everybody's looking at him, right? But apparently my face is worse. So we're all just staring at this guy like, is he going to shoot somebody? Like, and he looks at me. He's like, what are you looking at? Points the gun at me. Like,
Of course.
I'm like, man, God, is this stupid?
It's so stupid.
That's the thing you think about. When somebody points the gun at you, you're like, wow, this is really stupid. I don't want to die here because you
know.
You what? Decided that you were pissed? And I'm looking at you the wrong way? You're going to shoot me for this? Like, that's just the BS you have to deal with, man. That's why there's a bouncer out there. There's a bouncer out there that I know. His name, well, I won't give his name yet, but I'm trying to get him on the show. Me and Errol, we're going to try to get him on the show because he was a bouncer out there. I don't know. I saw him at the bars bouncing from when I turned 21. I was out there for like 10 or 12 years. He was out there bouncing, so he's got some stories.
I bet he gets into. You mean you got to end up in fights? And,
he's a big dude too, man. It's hilarious because nobody's winning that fight against him.
Yeah,
he would wreck dudes. Him and his brother were both bouncers out there. He's awesome. I'll get him on one of these days.
Yeah. That's the thing to me too about carrying a gun too is like. It's different because, like, when no one has weapons, like, you know where this goes.
Right.
Like, and it only goes so far. And then when you have a weapon, you're like, should I escalate this?
Yeah, I can kill
You have
this
that
person.
idea in your head, you know? And I feel like that was what was... It was just... again, it was just so stupid to me that night. I was like, this can't be it. I was like, I'm not
I can't
done
die
here.
here
I can't
on
die.
this floor.
I was like, you're paying me $130 tonight. And like, no, I'm not dying
this?
for that. So...
I think about that all the time, man. People who are dying, like, as they're dying, are you thinking how stupid this is? Like, am I really dying right now? like I've watched documentaries. Oh, man, there was a documentary we watched where it was like, this island, these people went on a tour. Have you ever, like, steam on your oven? You're, like, boiling some water or something, and you, like, reach over and the steam hits you and it's like you pull it away real quick because it hurts so bad, right?
Yeah.
These people, man, they went to this island with this active volcano, I guess, on it, but the volcano wasn't supposed to do anything. So this whole tour came to this island. They're walking around, and then the volcano went off, and hot steam was like shooting out of fissures in the ground and stuff.
Oh no!
And just singeing people, like heat, man,
bro.
But they're living through it.
Oh no!
Like a lot of them lived through it,
no.
but their skins like melted. Yeah.
Oof.
And they're like hauling them to the hospital, and their skins like fused to their clothes and stuff and melted. So it's like in that situation,
dirty.
you gotta be thinking.
I know.
Like,
You just want to die. I'm like, at a certain point, you just wish you died instead. Honestly, I was like, can you just let me die? I don't want to survive this and have to live with this dirty, melted skin face.
You guys ever been burned by steam before?
No. Well, I mean, not anything.
Not
like
bad.
That.
Yeah, but it's like that initial where you're like, and you pull away.
Yeah.
Just imagine you just have to hold it.
You just have to stay there.
Yeah, you can't
chill.
Pull it away.
There's no pulling away. Just get burned, get melted.
Oh man,
that's what those people have to deal with.
I'm sure you've seen some pretty awful stuff like that out in the oil field when you were doing that stuff. I mean, I know that's that kind of work. I've never done it before, but it's like your life's on the line every day, you know?
Yeah, I was lucky. The worst things I saw happen to me personally. Nobody on my crew or the rig I was on got hurt really bad. I saw other people die on other rigs, and I heard reports and stuff after, or they would get seriously injured, like lose their hand or lose their, fingers and stuff like that. But
you ever had anyone like pull a gun on you anywhere either?
No, I've never had that happen.
Oh man, it was the dumbest feeling because I was like, I could look at the dude and be like, you don't stand a chance.
And you're not worth. You don't deserve to kill me.
I was like, at least bring me someone that could beat me in a hand. You know, I was like, you couldn't beat me. You know. When did
this? I didn't hear what happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, this was a while ago when I was doing that security gig that my friend kind of set me up with. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, I think it was a different DJ that night too. So he wasn't even there. But whatever was happening, some fight started at the cards table where they were just playing some games, and like some argument started. Someone pulled out a gun, then the other person pulled out a gun, and everybody started running out. And they were like, "Go over there." And I was like, "For 130?"
How about no?
How about no? How about I'm not dying? They could kill each other. I didn't leave though, because I was like, maybe I'll just like kind of help de-escalate this. I was like, if shots start, I'm like, I'm just gonna not die tonight. The door is right over there. I'm just gonna walk clean out.
So wait,
I'll be clean.
happened?
I'll edit myself.
So he ended up like chasing the guy into a corner. The guy who was like working with our operation, and like he was like gonna shoot him is what it looked like. So I was like, I came up behind him, like I ran up behind him, I pulled his arm back, I like kind of pulled him off, like me and a couple other guys were trying to pull them away from each other. Let the other guy go. They were both drunk. Like I'm 99% sure they were both like, tipsied up. So.
I hope so, because man, how stupid is it to be sober and do that? I
mean, first I'm like, who pulled out the gun first and why? That was what I never really got to figure out.
Were they black?
One of them was black.
Damn.
In the name of God, but
what's that got to do with it? What's the other guy was white?
I think he was a white guy.
Black people seem to be a little more violent in situations like that sometimes.
They're just equally. It's not like we show up to track meets with knives and stuff. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why'd you have to bring that up? You just made this dirty.
Didn't that guy get off free? Is he out of jail right now?
Are you kidding me? Did that happen? I didn't follow up with that, but he just stabbed the guy for a seat, from what I heard, and then he can't just be off.
Well, I heard he was in a tent, and he was in someone else's tent at this track meet, and they're like, "Hey, can you leave our tent?" And something happened. I don't know. It's weird that there's no video footage of it.
I heard that they were just sitting in their seats at like some bleachers or something or whatever. And then
no, they were at a track meet, and he was like sitting in the wrong tent, apparently, under like the wrong tent.
Oh, so he stabbed him naturally.
But the guy was like, "Hey, get out of our tent! Like this is our tent. You're supposed to be in a different tent."
What's a tent? I'm thinking
it's just like a little like an, you put chairs underneath it and stuff.
Yeah,
a
little shade. Yeah.
That's how I understand.
Is it public or you have your own tent that you house?
Are they assigned? It might be assigned. I don't know.
It was like a high school track meet or something. Yeah, they probably had several tents there. I don't know. I'm speaking completely out of my butt.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
That's what I heard.
Whatever happened with the tent.
Why did you have a knife?
You wouldn't catch me stabbing somebody.
Yeah, it's still an overreaction. It's crazy to stab them to death, but I don't know any context. I don't understand what.
Yeah, I mean,
let me give you some context. He was.
Hey man, don't say something.
Mom's about to demonetize this whole episode.
All right,
Jared.
I'll keep this edited if I can.
Keep it edited. Keep it edited.
Just seems a little more. I don't know, man. You can't reason with people sometimes. Certain people.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
There's people coming out online. I just watched a video today. It was actually one of the Hodge Twins videos.
yeah.
And there was a black woman, and she was like, "Oh, I just, like defending, what was his name?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
either.
she was like,
Ahmaud Arbery or...
Yeah, no, she's defending him stabbing the guy to death. Like,
basically. That's a tough case to make.
Yeah, she's like, I just don't care because black people have been getting killed forever, and it's about time the tables turn, like something along those lines.
That's kind of crazy.
I was like, that is the dumbest thing for you to say. First off, most black people are killed by other black people, but she doesn't care about that.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh.
It was weird.
That's, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's too extreme. That's ridiculous to me.
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
Really?
Kid's name.
Okay.
And
That was the kid who stabbed him?
Yeah, and he has been released from jail.
After
his $1 million bond was reduced to what? I don't know. But and then like a bunch of people were donating to his GoFundMe. It's like,
well,
I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Yeah, there's some things it's like, there's some things from my perspective, like, I don't know how much context it would take to make what you did okay, but it definitely takes more context. Because I still don't have enough to justify stabbing this guy.
I don't think there's anything that he could have said that warrants a stabbing.
Even if he was like a bully to you at the school and you hated him, like, I still can't give you a license to do that.
So I believe he did look at me wrong and told me to get out of his tent. That warrants death. Obviously, right? You have to die if you tell me to get out of your tent.
Yeah.
Yep. I gotta.
I mean, if you don't get out of my tent, then I should kill you.
Right. Right.
Mom's gonna hate this episode.
Is Mom on? Is
she on Rumble?
No, is she on one side or the other? This is going on.
YouTube. I don't know.
I don't know.
Mom always surprises me.
She kind of falls more on the side of like BLM, and she doesn't like Elon Musk and that type of stuff.
And the thing I would say, Mom and Dad definitely grew up in a different time period than we did. That's one thing I will say. Because like Dad was born in 1960. You think about that.
Close to cotton picking days, man.
Right?
Isn't that crazy?
I know. You think about that. And it was a very, very different time. Like the way Dad talks about it. And like the thing is, like, I know Mom and Dad to be very reasonable people. And like they have a lot to say about what it used to be like. You know?
I get that too, you know? It's like, yeah.
Because that's more context that I don't have that they have.
Right.
You know,
like... I'm like, let it go. Just freaking...
See, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like... Because I see it in a vacuum because I live in the vacuum that they're looking at. But they see more context because they lived through some of the history that I didn't.
Right.
You know, it'd be like... If your girlfriend was like mean to you all the time and like disrespectful, and then like one day she didn't text you back like in a timely manner, it would feel different than if like she was normally always nice. You'd be like, oh, well, something's wrong here. Right. This is unusual.
Right.
Where she'd be like, oh, she just treated me like a piece of trash again. And like that's where I think like you get the idea that like this is like a micro racial thing, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Because they see it as like this is you just hiding that stuff that you were open about before. You know?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, that could be hard to overlook, I'm sure. That sucks, man.
Yeah, kind of does.
It's just like you got to look. See, yeah, I'm of the opinion it's like the people that cry about this stuff, their ancestors are still doing it over in other countries. Brutal, like prisoners, slaves, all of it's going on in Africa still.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, according to Google.
What do you mean? There's.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wait, did I turn the light off?
Did you?
It back on. It's back on.
It's just pretending to have
Clean
superpowers
Asian
right now. It's
superpower.
clean Asian
why'd
superpowers.
you look at it like that? It's like, oh Powers are kicking in.
I can finally turn lights off. Guys. Let's go.
Oh, wow. Now you don't have to do this.
Yeah, I don't have to reach for switches anymore.
That's
guys.
crazy work, Seth. Yeah.
It's crazy work, dog.
I don't.
Yeah, that is one thing. I mean, I do think at the same time that I'm not a person like, I'm not like a complainer, and it's weird to say in this way, but I feel like it's a little bit like, if we wouldn't keep bringing it up and making it more of an issue, then I feel like it would become less of an issue.
Right.
Who's we though? Like we as in...
We as in, I think a lot of like the BLM people, like a lot of the people that march, like I was just talking with someone about that the other day, and they were like, would you go to any of those marches? And I was like,
no.
I was like, I probably wouldn't have gone to any of those.
I mean, there's a lot of white people that are
and it's
BLM.
like, because
the woman that I told you guys about that falsely accused me of just something that just never happened. Mm-hmm. And then when I threatened her with legal action, she just never said anything. She had BLM in her bio and a bunch of woke like nonsense, like a pride flag. She had a whole bunch of BS in her bio. When I went and looked, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. This woman's crazy.
Well, and I think part of it is like, because what they were telling me when I was talking to this person was like, they said it was in response to the George Floyd stuff and the Ahmaud Arbery stuff. And they said people were just like, she said it didn't like get violent. She said until like the protests, she said until the police like were like being violent and like attacking people or like throwing tear gas or whatever. And so I asked them, I was like, well, did you go? And they were like, well, no, it wasn't safe. And so
You're seeing the irony here.
I was thinking about that, but then they were saying, well, it wasn't safe because the police were attacking the peaceful protesters. And I just feel like there might be some of that, but I also feel like that's just, I feel like that's a very one-sided way of telling the story. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know there was a lot of looting and stuff, and like,
and there were a lot of black youths that came out specifically to loot. Like, people came to those, like, maybe, yeah, some of the people in the beginning of it were good and peaceful protesters. But the story that I heard was most of the nonsense would start after dark, right? The protesters, the good protesters,
would be out there in the daytime, yeah.
Yeah, and the other protesters would show up just to take advantage of that protest to loot and riot and like steal stuff and burn.
And so there's
down.
deviants in there. And
I
so
just need a new flat screen TV. I want a new iPhone. And I want a PlayStation.
And you can get it off George Floyd's back.
Hey,
yeah,
wait a minute.
It's free.
Both of you are being dirty at the same time.
No, I'm just speaking on behalf of. Did you guys? Here's my issue with it too, because you never know. I was talking to Mom about this. I think a while back. I was like, I can't believe anything that you see on TV or the media puts out. Like, I think sometimes they just straight up lie to us. I'll be honest. Some came out a while back. I wish I had saved that article where this. I think it was Candace Owens. She was talking to somebody and she said the whole George Floyd thing, it wasn't even real. Like, a lot of the elements of the story, they have to twist it to make it sadder than what it really was and make him look better than what it really was. They said when he, like, for example, when he was calling for his mom, it wasn't his biological mother. He was referring to this white girl that he was dating, and he called her mama for some reason. Is that true?
I don't know.
I was like, I don't even know if this is true.
I mean, I don't know if that really. He was calling out for help. I don't know if that makes it seem less sad to me. Not necessarily that detail.
Yeah, here's but just little lies like that where they're like,
Was it a lie? I mean, he said that, right? He was calling out for his mom.
There was a bunch of other stuff too, though. About it, I forget what they said, but it was like he's completely not even the victim. Like the way Candace Owens put it, we should actually look that up. They were like, it's just a complete fabrication.
Yeah, Candace, I like Candace a lot. And the fact
they were like he didn't die of because he had like a lethal amount of fentanyl in his system or something like that too. That was part of it. So like he didn't actually die because they were restraining him or whatever or holding him down. He actually died because of multiple reasons. One, he was going to die anyway because he had all this, just a crazy amount of fentanyl and stuff in his system.
Because I know the guy, what's his name? Kavanaugh?
Keep us going.
Was it Kavanaugh? Was that the officer's name? Who was like kneeling on his neck?
Yeah, no, it wasn't Kavanaugh. It was...
I thought it was Kavanaugh.
No, I think...
Brett Kavanaugh was the Supreme Court justice that
That's...
I can't remember the name, the dude's...
Whatever his name was. Yeah, like... Okay. Is that excessive? Because what was it, 8 minutes or something?
Yeah, 8 minutes and 46
Yeah,
seconds.
like
or something
8+
that.
minutes.
Yeah, a solid 8. You know.
Yeah. Now you do
Slow
that
down.
to anybody, and it's life threatening. But whether or not, I don't know what was the cause of his death either. Like, are they saying like he walked? Because was it like a convenience store or a gas station? I forget.
Yeah, it was
Like he was in there, he was gonna get some stuff. Are we saying like he would have walked out and died of like a fentanyl overdose? Like,
Nope.
like
I don't believe that.
Like that doesn't
I
necessarily
don't even know what to believe
make
anymore,
sense
guys. I'm
to
like,
me.
I think people just, you guys just lie about
Because
too much
one thing
stuff.
I will say, I like Candace. Like I think she's like super smart. I think she's very articulate. She's on point.
Yeah.
But I do feel like she's also she's not only like not sympathetic at all. She's like harshly anti like a lot of anything that's like pro-black at a certain level. And I say that like looking at her as a black woman, which sounds weird. And I like Candace. I just think sometimes she is a bit harsh. And I'm not saying that she's not right about certain things, but I do think that she might lack a little bit of empathy. A little bit. I didn't know much about George Floyd because a lot of people like tried to say like that he wasn't like a good person anyway, which I feel
he was,
which is like kind of like crazy to say like, he wasn't that great. It's okay to. It's like I don't know if that is this it.
This might be it. So this is Candace. She's
He's
about to come out.
crying
She's a savage. Yeah, I respect it.
About to get,
I respect it.
Ben's not gonna like this video.
Yeah, I want to watch this.
It's out of reach now.
Put your headphones on.
Yeah,
It's unclean.
I never knew she said anything about this specific instance. I guess it doesn't surprise me though if she's like against the whole thing or standing up for the cop. Derek Chavez, wasn't that
Derek
his name?
Chauvin.
Chauvin, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like, yeah.
He's crying for his mother.
Okay.
Get the fuck
I'm about to wake you up. Ready? I'm about to take your red pill. I'm going to hit you with the red pill.
I want the red one.
Have you ever seen the full arrest tape?
No.
You've only seen 9 minutes that were shot on the side of the sidewalk by Darnella Frazier because the Minnesota prosecution locked down the full arrest tape from the officers. You watch it, your whole mind is going to explode. Okay. First and foremost, they tried to peaceably arrest this man. It's very clear he ingested more or whatever was in his car. They peaceably put him in the back of a cruiser. And he says, I don't want to be in the car because I can't breathe. I have claustrophobia. The guys say, we just took you out of this car. What do you mean you have claustrophobia? Why are you acting funny? He asks the guy in the car who was with him, did he just ingest something? Did he do something? George Floyd asks the police officer to put him on the ground himself. In the court case, who testified and said, I'm Mama. His white girlfriend was Mama. Okay, he was calling. When he said Mama, they showed the multiple times that he has said that in previous arrests where he didn't die. He was talking about his girlfriend, who is white, by the way, which I think is also kind of significant.
Huh.
Okay, so she gave us some more context there.
Dirty and it's dirty.
But I feel like the detail about the mama, I feel like that doesn't change anything for me.
No. It was still horrible the way the man died. It was stupid. Like, yeah, he might have died because he had drugs in his system and he was on the ground in a weird way. And the knee on the neck for sure had something to do with it. I don't care what you say.
That's
video.
crazy. Yeah. It's like, because...
I think Derek should have gone to jail. I think George was a horrible person, and he was out for like it was bound to happen. Something bad was bound to happen to him. You know, it's just I think both people. Not to say that Derek or George should have died, but both people in that scenario got kind of what was coming to them. You know, you live in a crazy way. It's gonna happen. Things in a crazy way are gonna happen to you.
That is crazy to me because I was like, did he, in between being arrested, manage to like OD himself on fentanyl? That's what that sounded like.
He ingested more of whatever was in his car.
He ingested something. Like he was like, oh, I need some.
He's like, hang on, guys, I need more fentanyl.
Wait, he ingested it in the cop car?
No, in his car.
Like they took him out of his car and put him in there, and then he was like, I'm claustrophobic. And they were like, well, you're just chilling in your car.
I did see that video.
Yeah,
He did want to be.
car.
He didn't want to be in the car. I remember that.
And so they took him out.
But he also didn't ask to be laid on the ground and have somebody knee on his neck.
He didn't He didn't ask for the knee.
Wasn't asking for that.
She's saying he asked to be put on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Here's what I don't get. Like, since when do cops say, okay, We're
and just
arresting
do what
you right
want.
now. Yeah. Oh, you want to be out on the ground? I'll let you out on the ground. We'll just sit. Like, what were they going to do?
That was one thing that was weird to me. I was like, why did they comply with that? Because what were they gonna do?
Yeah,
Like,
he was
oh,
getting
we'll
in
have
the car, put him in the
we'll
car.
have jail come to you.
Why'd they lock down
Right.
the full arrest tape?
It's like, no, let's get this over with. You're in the car. I'm putting you in, and we're gonna go to jail. Why would I take you out and put you on the ground?
What I don't know,
because you
though,
said so.
yeah, is why did the cops like? What was their reason for initially approaching him? I don't know that.
He was selling cigarettes outside of them. Like
Oh
cigarettes
yeah,
or
they said something about he was selling counterfeit cigarettes.
What?
Outside of a
I never
gas
heard that.
station or
He
something.
was selling counterfeit cigarettes.
Yeah, we don't sell
Something
real
like that,
cigarettes.
and he was being unruly in the gas station. I thought. I don't know, bro.
So okay, so two things. I'm like, I don't know what unruly means because I've met some people that are like, I'm like, I mean, this is unruly, but you're getting away with it.
Yeah, before God, it's unreal.
You know, before God, you're unruly, Karen. Like, get out.
Before God, you're unclean.
Before God, you're unclean. Yeah, that is interesting. That is one story that I do, because the George Floyd, I feel like is a little more controversial with all the circumstances of how it happened. Ahmaud Arbery.
The guy that was running through the construction place?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That to me is a little more cut and dry.
Are you talking about Susan and her taser? Or the
Wait.
lack of her taser?
No.
Didn't they? No, that guy's Ahmaud's
That was
dead.
that dad and his
Yeah,
son,
the guy I'm
right?
talking about was dead too.
Who?
Because she mistook her. What was that?
That was the
Is
refrigerator.
there demons here?
That was the refrigerator.
No, just clean Asian.
Do you remember?
Demon
Kevin?
action.
He's like, did you see that light go off? What is this? Is that poltergeist? No, what was I even saying? Yeah, she reached for her, what she thought was a taser, she said, and it was a loaded firearm, like her standard.
Oh, you're saying the cop that killed Ahmaud?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was. I mean, I feel like that's a lie.
Yeah, because it's got a completely different feel. It's got a different weight.
It's in a
to
different
it.
holster, and you're supposed to know what your weapon
This
is.
is a woman we're talking about.
Wow.
Yeah, she just pulled out in the heat of the
I
moment.
can't
and shot
believe
him.
you did that.
That I feel like is an honest mistake to make, honestly. Like, if you're a cop and you maybe have never dealt with a scenario where you have to pull your gun
Your
out.
training
you just-
sucks.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No,
that-
it's
You were a
unforgivable.
DEI.
That's well known. Their training does suck. Most cops have the most minimum training ever. And then you throw a woman's mind on top of it.
God.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand.
I didn't know it was a woman who shot him.
See, I don't
You
know
think
if
a
we're
dude's
talking
mistaken
about the
his
right the
taser
same
for a
guy
gun?
though.
I never knew it was a woman.
This is Susan.
You're
we're
talking about
here.
Ahmaud. You sure it's Ahmaud Arbery that
I don't
the
know if
woman
that's.
shot?
I don't know what his name
I
is.
think
but-
Ahmaud was the dude. See,
He was running in the neighborhood.
I thought that was
That's
the
the
dude.
guy, yeah.
I think Seth's
Did he
talking
die?
about someone
He died.
else.
I'm not sure which. I don't know what the suspect's name was.
Because wasn't it? I can't remember if it was like someone in the neighborhood, if they started chasing him, and then the cops got involved.
Yeah.
So like, I think they called the police after they had already started kind of chasing him. He starts kind of running away. Police show up. I don't remember all those details because it was a while.
Was he even guilty of anything? He was just walking in the neighborhood.
No, he was just like jogging. And they're like, "Huh, that's suspicious. Shoot him."
I wonder. So he's jogging. Somebody else starts chasing him, and then he just starts running from him.
Yeah,
Well, he
I
said
think in that case, was it one person or a bunch of people?
I don't know if
there was two
remember.
people. It was an old man and his son.
Yeah,
And they saw this black guy jogging through a construction zone in this like neighborhood where I guess you're not supposed to be seeing black people running around here because we got money. I think it's kind of what the thought process was.
yeah.
And they thought he was going in to these houses that were under construction
steal
to
the
steal
scaffolding?
stuff.
Tools and power tools and maybe.
Come on now.
Stuff
And so
you
they
can sell.
confronted him and they tried to like do like a citizen's arrest on him.
Really?
Till the cops got there.
You can't do a citizen's arrest. First of all, a citizen's arrest with no crime.
Well, Judy,
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And try and pull a citizen's arrest on me.
Dante Wright was the guy that got shot with the woman who wanted to pull her taser but didn't.
Okay, so that wasn't Ahmaud.
Right.
Susan.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I don't know. The dad and the son tried to like stop this guy and detain him or whatever because they thought he was stealing. And then he didn't want to stay there with them. He was like, "No, I'm leaving." I think, and they pulled a shotgun or something on him.
Yeah, I remember a shotgun.
Tried to keep him there, and I think he started fighting him, and they shot him.
That's what it was.
They both went to prison though.
Yeah,
And
which
he's dead, I
makes
believe.
sense.
Yeah.
Because there was no crime committed. Now, here's one thing I'll say, though, is like, whatever construction site, like, he's running through there.
You're not really supposed to be in there. Don't they have all the, like, caution tape?
See, that's the part, man, that I don't...
Why would you?
But here's
You can jog wherever the hell you want to jog. But
Yeah.
was he jogging or was he stealing? We really don't know. I don't think anybody knows. He was
He's dead.
Did he have a bag with him? Or is he
I
just...
don't think so.
Like, he's just wearing joggers clothes and jogging?
Yeah, I doubt. I
Maybe
mean, to
that day
me,
he just
the
decided
idea
to
that
cut
he was
through.
there stealing doesn't seem super plausible to me.
Right. What seems plausible to me is that a lot of white people just, if they see a black person, they think crime. They have plenty of reason to think so.
You didn't have to.
We've given them plenty. Okay, we've given them more than enough reason to see crime when they look at certain black people. They just, you got to be doing something sketchy.
Have you
What
ever
are
seen
just
the
running?
The usual suspects in the comment sections?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, come on now.
So we've given them, as the black community's got to take some responsibility for this. Also, the white people's got to take responsibility for their just blatant racism in a lot of situations. They're racist. Plain and simple. A lot of them really are.
Yeah, I mean, in that scenario,
they can't differentiate between when they're being racist or when they actually think something bad is happening. That's what I think is going on. They can't differentiate. They're like, I know black people in their subconscious.
because that's the thing is like they're judging you based on what they think you're about to do.
Right.
They're like, he's about to grab that jackhammer and leave with it.
Yeah.
Well, let
And
him
we could
leave.
say, if it had been a white dude jogging through that neighborhood, they would have never stopped him.
Right.
That's where we can.
That's the variable.
Yeah,
where
that's
it's like,
where my
okay,
conclusions
you changed
are
the
being
race,
drawn
and
from.
now
There's no way they would have
this is
stopped him.
racist.
They would have
Yeah.
never pulled up on a white
Yeah.
dude and stopped him.
Yeah.
So there's so many elements here.
the fact that they killed him. Imagine you
That's
see a dude
crazy.
jogging, and the next second you shooting him with a shotgun.
Yeah, that's a lot of racism.
That's a crazy That's a crazy pendulum swing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fear on your part. You're scared of black
I'm like,
people.
imagine you just pull up on a stranger, right? You're like, listen, I think you were going to commit a crime. You're chilling here with me for now.
Yeah.
And they don't want to. Is anyone surprised that they're like, no, I'm going to
Stay here.
leave.
I'm like, no. I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. And then they kill you.
Right.
Like,
What are the cops going to do? So they pulled up on this guy. He hasn't stolen anything yet. They think he might
he's
be
dead. Yeah.
But I'm saying it doesn't even make sense. It was like the guy I told you guys about. There was a guy that called the cops on me because he said I cut him off in traffic and I didn't.
Oh.
But then he was like, he's sitting there arguing with me and I was like, it was kind of serious for me until he was like, well, I'm calling the cops. And I stood there and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, have fun with that. And I grabbed my bag and walked out, got out of my truck and just went in the house.
Uh-huh.
And then he calls the cops and they're like, so this guy didn't, like, he cut you off in traffic, which isn't really like a crime. And there was no accident, nobody's hurt. And you're sitting outside his house and you want us to do. So they told him to leave. He's just sitting outside my house. The cops called me and they were like, yeah, we're just following up because this guy called and like, we just want to get your version of events. We're going to take a statement and then we're closing this. Mm-hmm. So I told him what really happened, which was he actually cut me off. Mm-hmm. And then he followed me to my house because
that's a little bit.
Yeah, that could have been a crazy situation too, because he like followed me to my house and I parked where I always park my truck, like right in front, and he like pulls up in front and blocks my truck in, like he thinks I'm trying to get away from him. He didn't realize I lived there. I think he thought I was trying to make a quick turn and just dart in, and he didn't realize I lived there. I got out of my truck and he was like, this guy's like freaking out, yelling at me. He was like a middle-aged, overweight white male. And he's got his child in the passenger seat. And I was like, man, this was a dumb decision.
He followed you with his kid?
Yeah.
Because you cut him off?
I didn't cut him off. He cut me off.
Oh, well,
he was in the wrong lane. He
Okay.
tried to turn and he almost hit my truck. So I just tapped my horn and he got all upset about that. And then I was like, man, this guy, he made a really dumb decision. Like, number one, outside of a gun, I'm like, there's no way you're winning like a fight if that's what this comes down to. And you got your kid with you.
That's why I called the cops.
I was like, he's got no idea who I am. I could have been a crazy person. I could have been having a bad day. I could have killed him and his kid. That could have been the end of both of them.
Man, you are a crazy person.
You know what,
I'm
guys?
just kidding.
Well, do you guys
I'm
ever
just
have days? And I
Yeah.
told you guys about recently. You guys know about things that go on with me. There are some days where I want to hurt some people. there were some days where I was like, man, I just wish you'd say something, and they won't say anything. I was having an okay day. I was chill that day, and he pulled up and started this whole thing, and he didn't really escalate it to the point. He didn't touch me. He didn't touch my truck. He didn't get out of his truck. He said, and then at the end, he's like, "Well, I'm calling the cops," because I was in the wrong according to him. And then I kind of laughed at that point, and I was like, "Okay." Then when I turned around, went in the house, I realized I saw him sitting outside with this confused look, like, and he's like, "Oh, this guy lives here. He wasn't trying to get away from me." And he sat there for a minute, and then he leaves the parking lot, pulls out in front of my house, and just sits there, and then he calls the cops. I don't know, it was so stupid. Yeah, there's no crime that's been committed. So back to this case, when they pulled at him. They stopped this guy. He hasn't stolen anything. He's just jogging. And they're like, we're going to call the cops. I'm like, what do you expect the police to do? They're going to show up and say,
show up here and be like, all right,
you haven't stolen anything. You're just jogging. There's no crime that's been committed. What are we going to do?
Look at his skin color. He was about to. That's what they were going to say.
So, and then you got to hope the cops aren't racist.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we believe him. You're going to jail. It's like that's the stupidity of racism. Cops have to not be that way. And you can't make them. It's like going to court. you like get called in for jury duty or something, and they're like, "We just need you to ignore the fact that this person's black, or ignore the fact that they're this, ignore that they did that." Like if you see a news story, just ignore that. You're like, "Well, how am I supposed to?" It's like, how do you like weed out racist people from being in positions of authority? Where
I don't think you can.
No, you can't. So you're totally reliant on the police officers in a lot of scenarios like this to be objective, good, solid people that just follow the law.
And that's the thing is like, what you can get people to change their behavior on a long enough time span if you can punish the behavior that you don't want and then reward the behavior that you do want. And so what we should be doing is, which is what I think is like, at least been happening some of the time, is making sure that justice does get served. Like these guys who shoot this dude, they go to jail, and that's that. Like,
right.
So we make sure like no one gets rewarded for doing racist stuff, and then it gets disincentivized, and then the laws have to reflect that too. It can't just be like,
yeah, if you're the whole Black Lives Matter crowd, that's just willing to let any black behavior go unnoticed just to prove their point. And to stand up against the opposition, the racist opposition or whatever. It's like that behavior, the black criminals also need to be punished accordingly.
Well,
that's the biggest thing, I think, the beef that people have with Black Lives Matter groups and woke groups and this and that is because they won't hold not even just black people, but criminals in general. They just don't want to hold their side of the criminals responsible.
Well, and that's kind of the thing
doing.
Is, it's always like if you did this, it's a tit for tat. So it's like you did this to us, now you already have to accept whatever we do in return.
Yeah, like the lady Seth was talking about.
Yeah, right.
Like, we don't care,
Yeah.
We don't care that this innocent man.
Yeah, she was like,
life.
we don't care.
Yeah, this is a win for us.
So I call that statement in and of itself. We'll just call it a Stephen A. Smith.
That's the Stephen A.
Do you remember that?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Smith,
you guys remember that?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm here to tell you right now.
We don't care. Yeah.
We don't care.
We don't care. Yeah, I think that's where it's at, because I think it's an argument for fairness and not always for what's right. And I think there's a difference between what's fair and what's right. It's like your girlfriend's like, I'm gonna cheat on you. It's like, well, I already cheated on you, so I guess it's fair.
This is
right?
fair.
Right. Right. So it's fair, but neither of it's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like we've gotten to a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to people who call you whitewashed? Because people. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the pushback I always get for me even talking about stuff like this.
It's like you're not really black.
Yeah, it's like people. They're like, well, where you were raised, where you grew up, all this nonsense. You act like a white guy. Like I had somebody, man, very close to me. You guys all know this person. I won't say it online. But somebody extremely close to me, and it hurt me too. We were having a discussion, and they were like, I think Jared's racist against black people. He's like, and I was like, what? Like, really? Is that what you... Is that what you see from me? Because I want to hold people accountable for stuff like this? So it's like a lot of people will disqualify, especially this group of dudes, man, our opinion, because we talk... See, that's the whole thing. I hate
here's
too. When people are
what
like, oh, you talk white.
This is my
I hate that.
This is
phrase.
my argument against that, which I hate. Is that the fact that they think I'm not a legitimate black means that they're actually racist because they have this particular association of these negative traits of like using foul language or using a particular kind of slang or speaking and dressing like a thug and acting like a thug, right? That's black. That's racist.
It should be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Me speaking in full sentences and pronouncing words properly and having my pants above my rear end, right? That's not white.
No,
you
but
don't get to
you're
say that
talking like a
that's
white
white.
guy,
No, you don't
Si.
get to say that that's just white.
That's what
though.
they say.
No, that's not just white though. That's black
but
too.
Hey, but that's what they say.
That's racist. That's racist.
It's you can't like sway their opinion on that. That's the weird part about
racist opinion.
It is racist.
Yeah, it's
but they
crazy.
don't hear logic.
Yeah, because they're like, you're not a real black dude. I'm like, what makes? I was like, my parents are black. Everyone in my family is black. My parents' parents were black. What do you want me to do?
Hey, and you know what's a great example of how that is racist or whatever, how that's wrong, their thought process, is because Barack Obama, we could all say
black.
he's black,
right?
But isn't he white?
But isn't he white?
Right?
Right. That's a great argument.
Isn't he? And all the black people were for Obama. They're like, oh, he's so well spoken. We love how he's representing
And you know what's
black people.
You know what's hilarious?
Oh, what?
You know what's hilarious? By the same token, people say like, I shouldn't even say this, but people will say Donald Trump is the first black president
because he's got those felonies.
He's got those felonies.
That's what's crazy.
That is what's crazy. That's crazy work.
Yeah, these people, I've given up. You can't reason with them. You know, if I was tomorrow to like try to change the way I talk and talk like some black dude from the South.
Oh God!
Start wearing their clothes and stuff.
It's not natural.
Would you then accept my advice though? If I was to tell you in a black voice and with my pants sagging, smoking a freaking joint, if I was to then tell you you shouldn't stab people in the heart because they told you to get out of their tent.
Don't stab
Would you
people.
take my advice then?
And I think part of it is like, I think part of the criticism of what they're saying when they're saying like you're not black, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, is that like you don't have the lived experience of the
Real
people.
black people.
No, of the type of lifestyle that the Black Lives Matter movement is complaining about.
Elaborate.
Well, okay. 2-parent household.
Damn, that's crazy work.
I'm just going to start at the basics.
Start right there.
I'm going to start at the basics, right? Okay, and so then we'll say, you got to take personal responsibility. I don't know how different we'd be without dad, though.
Probably very.
Less discipline. Imagine us, but just no discipline, no restraints.
Right.
It's just mom.
Like, how quickly would we have been like, all right, this is
Imagine,
over,
I won't say our oldest sibling, the way he is and how he...
That's him,
imagine
like,
him, but
tamed.
unrestrained.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean...
He'd probably be in jail.
Right
Be
now.
in jail right now.
Should be.
He'd have killed somebody.
Still
years
should. No,
ago.
I'm kidding.
He would have identified as a woman so he could hit the ceiling.
Self.
What the? Wait a minute. What just happened? Just
Trucks.
I'm telling
Jared,
you.
can I be kept clean?
I mean, you're edited. I don't know what's Seth.
I mean, I'm here to tell you guys right now.
that was a segue.
That was crazy.
From God.
I mean, that just came out of nowhere. It came out of left field.
No, you
Came out
guys
of
know
left
he'd do that.
field,
He'd be like,
brother.
oh, I identify as,
I don't think he's got to do that.
Just if he went to jail, you're saying?
yeah, just if he went to jail.
Okay, I
'Cause
missed
he would
that.
have no boundaries.
I
He
missed
wouldn't
that
give a
point.
damn.
Yeah, no, not if he just, only
I
if
was
he
like,
wanted-
why is Corey doing that?
Damn, clean floor to ceiling? Like,
Yeah.
what? He would do anything necessary?
to get to that ceiling?
I mean, anything to accomplish the mission.
Damn, bro.
When it comes, he's Ethan Hunt when it comes to those missions. Never fails.
That's not gonna, we gotta do
No,
it.
but I mean, I see that like they're like, you don't have that experience of those people that are probably more responsible for a lot of the bad reputation that black people have. You don't have their experience that kind of created some of who they are.
Right.
And so they're saying like, you're not a black person in that sense. You're coming at it from like what we would say is traditionally like, and again,
had
this
all
gets
the benefits
racist,
of
like
that white privilege,
right?
son.
Of like
Racist.
what's more common in like a white household, supposedly, of a 2-parent thing.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, well, why don't some of you that are complaining about it
Stop. Yeah. Right.
Like,
Stick around with the kid.
yeah, why don't
I
you
know.
do the
And that's
right
the thing to me is like, that's where I go back in the circle. I'm like, you could have just stayed.
Yeah, you are in control of your actions. You didn't have to be a pimp.
You didn't have to have the kid. You didn't have to leave. You didn't have to go to jail. Like all of that.
See, and there's this Indian guy. I can't remember the name of his channel. He's on YouTube, but he goes to all these ghettos and films these. He'll go up to like teenage youth and film them like in the way they talk and the way they act and stuff like that. And they got no parents, and they're like, "This is the murder capital of the world, son." Like a lot of these places he'll ask. He's like, if you went up to your haters or the guys on the other block next to you and say, hey, let's just call a truce. Let's all start being nice to each other. We're going to stop killing you. You stop killing us. He's like, would you guys be okay doing that? Why don't you just do that? And they're like, some of them are like, I would do it. And then we would get up on them. Like, then they would drop their guard and we would go kill them. Like, some people are like, yeah, but then they would just come kill us. It's like, oh, so you guys are just telling us you can't be trusted.
That's what they're saying, because we don't trust each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
This is like normal for them. But then he'll get deeper into conversations with them, and they'll be like, he'll ask them questions like, what would you tell like the younger kids that are growing up in these neighborhoods? They're like, man, stay in school, do right, go get you a job. I'm like, you're like 18 years old. It's not too late, buddy.
Right.
Like, you could change. But you're right. When you were talking, like, I don't understand their mindset.
See, I think that's part of it too. It's like, I heard this the other day. It's like, an excuse is a statement you make to avoid punishment or responsibility, right? That's what an excuse is. It's just a statement you make to avoid X.
Yeah. And
so a lot of times it's like, I think the attitude people have is like, oh, I came from this bad background and this and that. And it's like, and at a certain level, it's like, you have sympathy for that, but it's like, it's not your fault, but it is your problem still.
Right.
And so you just have to be the one that fixes it. Like, because I think we have this belief that it's cause and effect. So like, your past is what creates your future. But like, at any moment you can change that. And I think people, because it's hard, so they would rather use their excuse of they've had that. And again, I say this, and I've never been through any of the stuff. Like, the story of me having the gun pulled on me, that's probably that every week.
Oh yeah.
So like, I don't know what to say. Like, I probably seem ridiculous. Like, they're like, dude, I had to like fight, you know, and I couldn't leave. My family was there. I was broke. I couldn't move, you know, I couldn't stay in school because mom, you know, dad left. And so we had to pay the bills. So I got this part-time job, and then the neighborhood, you know, that I was in was really bad, you know, and there were drugs, but we had to make ends meet. And so like, what do you say to that, you know?
And see, I'm of a harsher opinion too in some of this stuff, where I'm of the opinion that I don't think they can change after a certain point. Like, if you watch these videos, I should play one here in a second. If you watch these videos and you see the way they're talking, you see the way they think, you see that they have zero education, they literally grew up in the streets. There we go, Seth. Really?
You're just gonna keep messing with us?
They grew up in the streets. They have a certain way that they speak, you know, to get rid of the way you speak, the way you enunciate words, to change all that at 18 years old. I don't even know if it's possible.
It's ingrained, yeah.
So yeah, you're like, how does that get fixed? You would have had to have two parents who avoided this in the beginning. If you didn't have that, we could have avoided this later on. But if you don't have those two parents in the beginning of it all, I don't know if these youth can ever be fixed. I really don't. I don't know if you say like, oh, well, just change it, right? I think, yeah, but just put yourself in their position, right? How hard would it be,
right,
to change that?
Right. You know what? I think that's it's a great point. The way I look at a lot of it is, it's like, it just doesn't matter like how hard it is. Like, you either do what it takes to get out of the situation or you don't. And I'm not saying that without sympathy, but I'm saying like cause and effect. Like you either do the work to get the result or you don't.
Yeah.
And so to me, I also have sympathy because I feel like, say you came from a wealthy family, right?
Yep.
And they're saying, well, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you invest and that you spend less money than you make and that you strategize for the long term and that you should probably buy a home, right? All of that is true and way easier for someone that was born into a family that was wealthy.
100%.
Right, and so you tell it to a poor person, and they're like...
Yeah, think about just how hard it is for you
right.
to do the things you're saying with everything, all the benefits you were given.
Yeah.
Think about how hard it is for you to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Now put yourself in one of these little Negro kids' bodies, their mindset and their household and their mom and dad. And here we go. Yeah, man. This is it. This is what we're talking about.
That picture is just... What is this picture?
That's a ninja.
This is
It's crazy work, isn't it? Yeah, this is the guy.
Right there.
I want to give a shout out. That's the Indian dude.
Oh, man.
What's his channel name? His name is The Taboo Room with Aaron S. And bro, his videos are absolutely enlightening into the mindset of these characters.
Standing with the line, we turn shit to coleslaw. Run down 4 deep, the boys ain't see no car.
Here we go.
Murders
How you get out?
Like every hood I go to, people almost talk about murder and laugh.
I done seen people die. They're easier than what we living in right now. We smoke big woods out there, we hear something about murder. It's wild out here.
Do you reckon you have a fear of death?
So I'd be scared to die. If everybody don't want to meet Jesus and see who he is, everybody don't want to meet God, why you scared to die?
How you getting out?
One of you up, gave his life to God,
Gosh, yeah.
You live by the street, you die by the car. You're going to be a killer, I'm going to tell you the right way to do it. Just listen to the shit. Don't be out to doing flunk and shit. It's younger guys like 13, 14, 15 carry big guns. So these are prop guns. 16. And you got shot in the chest. When you come in this bitch, they got a sign that says enter at your own risk. This is treacherous. This is slum. Bitches ain't stopping until they hit something.
We know what come with this shit, like if one die, somebody else gotta die.
Somebody gotta be the bad guy.
See?
This time I'm in the state of Louisiana.
That's the
I've gone to the
mindset.
trenches and seen how they really live and to get an insight what it's
Yeah,
really
that's
like living
crazy.
in the most murderous state in the whole of America. In Baton Rouge, there's 200,000 people. In London,
All right, so we don't even got to continue.
Yeah, I already know.
You see the mindset, right? That's the mindset they grew up in. That's their and then the rap music encourages it.
Yeah.
And the guy who's rapping is the cousin of theirs or their uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody they look up to. It's just ingrained. How do you get rid of that? How the hell
the thing
do you
that's
get
hard
rid of
about that? The thing that's hard about it too is like you could get out, but you'd have to like your mind would have to open up to the possibility. And when you grow up in that environment, like you only have that perspective.
Right.
And so like you just look up a little bit and you're like, who's doing the best in my neighborhood?
Yeah.
And he's successful at these things.
And he's selling drugs.
Right.
He's got guns. He's got prostitutes.
Yeah. So
That's the guy.
You don't have like I mean, I think the internet opens it up a little bit more, but you still got to be looking for things, you know? Cuz it doesn't just show you, you know. Yeah, that's
Good luck changing that.
Right?
That's my point of view. Good luck changing it. It is the culture. That's the culture. And that culture is in every city in America. Every major city in America has cultures like this, and they all think and talk the same. They think they're different, but they're not. They're just killing each other. He said, one of us dies, somebody over here dies, somebody else got to die. It's like, why'd he die? Oh, he said the wrong thing to Pookie down the street. Or he walked on the wrong block. He was wearing the wrong clothes. It's like this amateur, childish mentality, too, but it's coming from the adults.
Yeah.
And then the little kids growing up in this area, what the hell do you want them to do?
I know.
Right? And then, so they grow up wearing certain clothes. They have their hair looking crazy. They're wearing bandanas, pants
13,
sagging.
15.
And then they're like well, how come these straight-laced white people do not want to work with us? Don't want to hire us, don't want to give us loans. Like, because look at this. I wouldn't even, like, this guy interviewing these people, I'd give him props for even
That's one thing, too. I was like, how long is he going to stay alive? That was going to be my next question, yeah.
Like, is he going to go interview a hood that was like,
are
opposition?
you recording this?
Yeah, it's like that stupid stuff. And this is not all to say, like, we're talking specifically right now about black people, yes, but this is not to say that there's not trailer trash white people in neighborhoods who are doing damn near the exact same thing.
It goes without
right?
saying, yes.
But we, as a group of...
We're talking about black people.
People who are talking about this issue, we bring it up. Here it is. How do you fix it? If you have a suggestion, go ahead, put it in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
You think you can fix this? How? Seriously, how do you fix it?
Because here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
You say one person has to change. Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. It's that because people do stuff to get the reward that comes after, right? So they sell drugs to get the money after, right? So the problem is that they're being rewarded in some way for the way that they're behaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like, if they stop being rewarded for that, because it's too difficult to do, like, without any reward, then they'll stop doing it.
So what's the reward?
So we need to, well...
You're cool.
Right.
Everybody around you thinks you're cool because you did this hit on the opposition yesterday.
Right, like your boys will be like, oh, did you get
drugs.
him? Yeah. So
or you went to jail and got your stripes. Like, that's
now
a good
you're
thing
out
in a lot of neighborhoods.
Years, you're like, oh, that's
like,
bad
I did
man.
time in the pen.
I'm hard.
I've said this before on another podcast. Going to jail to black people in neighborhoods like this, it's the equivalent of, like, I won't even say white people, just normal other people, like joining up for the military and doing something noble. Like, I'm going to go and sign up for 4 years in the Marines, Serve my country. I'm going to go do something good. Doing time in the pen to them seems like that. It's like, I'm going to go kill these people. I'm not going to snitch on nobody. I'm going to do my time, my 4 years in prison for it. It's
God
like they have that mentality.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's crazy.
What is this?
It's unbelievable because
that's not a culture I want to preserve. I don't care what you say about black people. Black people are great. I think black people are really cool. I love watching football with black people in it. They're dope. The dances they do, like, they're cool.
They got charisma.
They got this. They got that. But this specific culture needs to die.
Football.
Yeah.
It's like, you can have swagger like that and still be a responsible adult. And
Denzel Washington, you can be educated. You could
be Denzel. Denzel right? Denzel can play in the ghetto, and he can come play on.
I know whatever. He can walk through there. Everybody be like, "Oh, it's right? Like, get respect." You
have to tame it. If you have that animal inside of you, you have a huge responsibility to try to tame that character.
And that's one thing too that you'll notice about this that you just made me realize again is a lot of it is not. It's not just black people. It's young black men. Especially. Right. How many women did you see in that video?
No.
Well, they're doing other stuff.
With the guns. Hey, so I know what you're talking about. But yeah.
From the floor, edit yourself.
To the ceiling, keep it clean.
There was a truck full of kids in the back of that, the F-250 or whatever.
Yeah. It's an F-150.
There's a dude in that neighborhood that's built like Corey.
Was he clean?
And he's hitting different ceilings and not staying around to raise
That's
kids.
Another problem, yeah. But, like, that's the thing is, like, people within that environment, they're being rewarded for the bad behavior.
No, it sounds he's indiscriminately hitting ceilings.
He's being rewarded for it.
What's he being rewarded for?
Dirt.
Did you just... the reward of walls is walls. That's why he keeps hitting them.
We've just maintained Hodge twins throughout.
Amen. Hashtag Lord Keith and Lord Kevin.
Hashtag Kevin Hodge said this in 2020, whatever. Tweet that.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I think it would, to fix that whole area would take a large amount of intervention.
A long time, too.
And time.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it right now.
Whatever black fathers are in those neighborhoods, they're the ones that are failing, in my opinion.
I know, but, like, they're starting off with failures.
Yeah, we're starting off behind.
We're starting off from failure.
Yeah.
Living up to failure. Because, like, the thing is, like, even if you did better than your dad, like, you just had three different baby mamas and not five. Right?
Or I only went to jail once.
Right.
Instead of
I only killed two people.
3 prison stints.
Not 7.
Right.
I didn't sell drugs.
But hey, maybe that's the way you crawl out.
I bought some.
Right? Your son just does a little better than you. His son does a little better than him.
And then
finally we get
years
to the point
later,
where it's like this black guy, he was straight laced. He had a 9-to-5 job like a normal human being.
Right. It took us 100 years to become normal.
100 years to get there. And then somebody's going to kill that guy because he's just too lame.
100%, yeah.
It's like...
yeah, guys, it's a long-winded conversation. I don't know what to believe again because you guys have heard those stories about the government pushing, drugs and other things into those neighborhoods specifically just for,
There's something to that. It's a little bit of a conspiracy, but also not really. For sure, the government and the authorities and they're allowing drugs to flow into these neighborhoods as well, just because it keeps them in a job, I think.
Does it?
They allow a lot of stuff to slide that they could. It's like I watched an interview with cops talking about this one dude, and they were going to arrest him. He was doing a bunch of bad stuff, and they're like, we know about it. But we want to get to like the bigger stuff, so we're gonna keep letting him do. He's killing people. We know he's selling drugs. We know, but we're waiting for the big thing where we can get him and like this other group at the same time.
Yeah.
So they just let a bunch of shit slide
Build
that they
their
shouldn't.
case. Yeah.
Yeah. If you would stop him when he stole the pack of cigarettes at the store, like you should have, and put him in jail for that, maybe he wouldn't have continued on and terrorized this whole neighborhood for 3 years while you built your case. Stuff like that happens too, where it's like law enforcement also, yeah. And I don't know if they're pushing drugs into the neighborhoods or not. I don't know. That's a conspiracy that's also kind of been proven in a lot of situations. Like the CIA was doing some sketchy
and that's
stuff.
That's another thing to me is like the idea that like the government isn't lying to you is a crazy idea.
They are.
Yeah, dude.
The idea that they're not is insane.
It's insane.
Has anyone ever lied to their mom?
No, man. Come on. Straight laced, brother.
Amen.
Would never do it.
Not that. I don't know. I'm sure I have. I can't remember a time though.
But that's the thing is like they don't even remember when they lied.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But Silas, yeah, do you remember that? Well, we just watched it. We'll go back to Invincible. Do you remember she was like, I'm not under surveillance or whatever. I was like, Susan, what? I was like, this house you're currently standing in is bugged. Let's start right there.
Damn.
I was like, you work for Cecil. Let's follow it up with that.
What is this? What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about a show me and Silas were watching. This lady was like, I'm free of like government oversight or some BS.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I was like, you are currently being recorded right now.
Right now, the government is oversighting you for free.
Yeah.
That's as free as it gets.
It's just crazy. Yeah, for sure they're lying to us. For sure they're doing stuff behind the scenes.
How about...
Because why wouldn't they? It makes them money.
Yeah.
And there's other agendas that they can do.
There's
no way they're not doing it.
You know what fixes this? What Trump did to all the gangs and what Venezuela did. Or not Venezuela. Who's the country that put all the MS-13 guys in jail? Locked them all up in one shot.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
oh, man. I can't remember the country, but we all know the country. People, yeah, we've seen it. Like, they locked them all up. They went out and arrested everybody,
like,
basically. It's like, we're done with this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't decide whether or not you're guilty or innocent anymore because you're all just...
But you're all affiliated, so you're all
getting locked up. You have a tattoo? That's it. Jail, prison for the rest of your life.
Straight to jail.
See, I think the problem is that bad almost in America. It's like, I have to lock...
Well, our prisons are already overflowing,
all of them up.
And it's all taxpayers. Jared, I call that, though, I would refer to that as the shotgun approach or the Oprah approach.
Yeah.
She's like, you get a prison sentence, and you get a prison sentence.
Oprah Winfrey approach. I'm throwing a net on everybody.
Yeah, everybody's
See, and that's the thing.
Wait, they went to jail for life, though, for being just in a gang that hadn't even done any crimes?
We don't know if you did a crime or not,
being
but
in
you
a gang
associate
might be a
with them.
crime.
Yeah.
What if you just joined that day? You're like, all right, guys, let's go. They're like, you're going to jail.
Like you were pledged to murder people.
Yeah, you shouldn't have gone. Why did you sign up to
MS-13
the
is a kind of that's a serious one, isn't it? That sounds like one of the ones that was like, they were in for, they're murdering people, they're selling drugs, they're doing all this.
Yeah. I understand both sides of it.
Well, that's the thing is that it isn't black and white either.
Right,
yeah.
it's not. I get why ghetto people do the things they do. I get why ghetto people hate the other side of the people who pretend like they're just better than everybody else. And their dad gave them $1 million when they graduated high school, right? I get everyone's perspective of it.
Yeah.
it just falls back to like, which one of you is doing really wrong things every single day? And you know it's wrong because we'll sit there and interview you and you'll be like, yeah, man, this is a bad lifestyle. You know, this is horrible. They'll admit it. That video we just watched with that guy goes to these, all these people will admit this is a horrible lifestyle, man. It's dangerous.
And
people are getting murdered all the time.
It's still not bad enough for them to change it. That's how comfortable they are because they've been. It's not bad enough for them to actually change it. They're not uncomfortable enough.
So they need some intervention. And if I was the president, I would intervene. You're all going to jail.
That's how you can
I can't help you anymore. This can't be fixed. I have to send you all to prison. I'm going to wipe the slate and start over.
How many people are
going
to
full
every
Thanos
black neighborhood and you're sending millions and millions of people to prison? Is that what the solution is?
I know that's not the solution.
That's not what he's saying.
Our prisons are already
right, this is back to the
overflowing,
abortion debate that we had.
Innocence real quick.
So this is back to the abortion debate we had. You know, I know I'm being egregious with my response.
I know,
right?
yeah.
I know I'm being brutal, but it's like I just don't know what else to do.
Yeah, it's like it's so bad. It's like,
what do you want me to do?
I don't have a solution for you guys, to be honest. I'm like, how would you fix that? Because it would take so much.
You know what?
It would take a whole cultural shift that they're just not gonna.
I think
they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's not.
That's the whole thing. The answer to that question is we can't fix it. They have to, and they don't.
And
want
they are
to.
the problem, though.
They're the problem.
So
they don't want to fix it.
God's got.
They don't have the willpower to fix it. So what can we do? It's not. It shouldn't be our responsibility to fix issues like this. You're the problem. You should fix it.
We caused your problem.
So the best thing that we can do for situations like that is punishment fits the crime. Okay, that's the key phrase to people that do stuff like that. White, black, Native American, Mexican, whatever you want to be.
I mean, are they
punishment has to fit the crime. I don't know. Because they're still
I'm like,
here.
should we make the sentence worse? Like now, if you
maybe
serve
the
time
sentence needs to be worse
instead of 4.
Yeah, it's like because you'll see in these there's like videos you can watch where like teenagers will go and like rob a store, beat up an old lady, take her car, do this, do that. They'll be in the back of the cop car being like, man, that was crazy, laughing about it and stuff. Be like, I'll be out in like a year or something. Like, so it's like the sentence is not strong enough to prevent them from doing it. So it's if they knew that stealing a car now carries a 20-year bid.
God,
it's like
dang.
you might not steal cars.
But you know what's crazy though is like I would say, man, that's gonna be because here's what's gonna happen.
Do you want me
here's
to
what's
do?
gonna happen though.
What else do you want me to do?
Here's what's gonna happen though. Is like we're setting a trap, right? Because these people are like, man, these people are so bad. They need 20 years to like threaten them, right?
Yep.
And so it's like a trap that we've got set here, and it's a bear trap. And one day a mouse is gonna set it off and get 20 years.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
It's unfortunate. What a shame.
Yeah.
Do your 20.
Ooh, I mean, here's what I think.
How else do you fix it, Side?
Because there's only 3 ways you can solve a problem.
Wait, there's still coffee.
Yeah, we're about to end this because we're at like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be crazy long, but finish what you were saying.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some coffee and stuff.
Because there's only 3 ways you can fix a problem. Like with information, like if you don't know how to solve it, then you need to solve it. Like you need information. If you do know how to solve it, then you just implement the solution. And then sometimes if there's no amount of information or execution that can solve it, that means it's just a fact. And I think this might be one of those things, honestly, Everett. I don't know.
It's just life.
Because it's people. People are always going to be like that.
Yeah, you can't control people.
It's the human element that's just completely like.
So what can we control? The punishment for the crime.
Yeah.
Through the law. That's it.
Yeah.
But then the legal system needs to also be looked at.
But that's the problem is we're in charge of that.
The legal system is also horrible.
That's the problem.
And unfair.
Yeah.
That needs to be probably fixed first.
So we got to fix.
Our judges are bad. Lawyers are bad. They're money-sucking, blood-sucking leeches.
Yeah.
They'll drag out a stupid case for
paid
15 years. Yeah, so that needs to be addressed first. We need to clean up our side of it. And then punishment fits the crime is the only thing you can do. Because you're never going to control human beings, their nature. You cannot change cultures or whatever they call this, right? This is our culture. This is how we grew up. We just want to be this way. All right, be that way. You're going
In
to jail
prison.
for 20, right? That's all I can
Clock
control.
in. It's gonna be a long
Clock
one.
in, clock out, right? And your son's going to be in there with you in a few years when he
Yep.
grows up.
5 years from now, right? Because he's
Yeah.
he's
This is
15
what
now.
you
By
wanna do.
20,
He'll be in.
he'll be in deep.
And then apparently the prison system is a little too easy for you too.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
That is actually crazy.
Maybe prison needs to be a little worse. Maybe we're financing prisons just a little too good as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not bad enough. As bad as it already is, maybe
Yep.
it's not bad enough too.
We need more cockroaches.
More
That's what you're
cockroaches.
actually-
we need less clean facilities. Like make these prisons dirtier. That's crazy.
Maybe you need to be in shackles 24 hours out of the day, and then you get to stand up for 1 hour or 23 hours.
See, and this just seems
like,
to
what
be
do we
crazy.
have to do to get it through?
I mean, I think
can't kill people for their
punishment fits the
perks.
crime. Punishment fits the crime, right? But I also think there's not enough reward because here's what happens in those like when they study and when they do this and that, like they don't feel like they don't get a reward that's as proportionate to, and so
Because racist
there
people
needs to
exist
be-
on the other side.
Well,
will stop you at
there
every
needs to be
avenue.
more of an incentive too. Like we need to de-incentivize these things by making sure the punishment fits the crime. These things are very serious, and then we also need to like re-incentivize the positive behaviors that we want to see more of.
Yeah, and give them a way out.
Yeah,
Like
All right.
right now, they really don't see a way out.
I just gotta hit you guys with this last one.
Hit it, son.
I think you might have been right a couple minutes ago because there's solutions that could be implemented, but people just don't want to. I think we're at a point where I'm gonna go to a black phrase on you guys. I think it's a black phrase.
From an Asian. This is
from
crazy.
an Asian.
Do you remember when it was? I don't know what it was in regards to, but he was like, "Man, they were trying to fix something." And he was like, "Man, what?" He's like, "Jesus can't even save these hoes. Why are you guys trying?" You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Now, guys, we're Christians, right? Most of our family's Catholic, but we're non-denominational Christians. There was a time back in the Bible, God didn't even fix it. He said, every thought that they have is evil continuously. I'm just flooding this. He was like, everything's dirty.
That's actually a crazy example you just brought up.
See, that's
Even God's not trying
Even
to fix
God
it.
was like,
couldn't
I
do it.
can't save them. He's
I
like,
was
they
like,
just
I
have to
can't
die.
God was like,
That's
he was like brainstorming and stuff, and he was like, you know what? Just flood it. Just wipe everybody.
what's crazy is how out of pocket that is from Seth.
You remember Sodom and Gomorrah? And he had the bad guy. He was like, God, if I can find 10.
God was like, I can't even find one,
I was
Kevin.
like, I can't. There isn't 10 down there, brother. I looked.
And you know they ain't. He was like, you know.
I was down there yesterday.
I'm killing everybody. That's crazy. That's
one of
a
those
great
things,
point.
guys.
That's a great point.
Sometimes I look around today and I'm like, I understand how to fix it if people would get on board with certain solutions. I'm like, I just don't
Right.
think
It's all of it is like if we could just cooperate. And it's that if, which is really just an impossible.
Yeah, so it's
It's
back to the Chael
impossible.
Sonnen thing I gave you a little while ago. He's like, now I have to leave. Now I got to walk out.
You have to walk out.
I can't even do it.
You can't even do it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's over. At a certain point, it is over. And all right, so you're saying missiles?
I'm saying either that or everybody's getting 20 for the smallest of things.
God,
If I stole a pack
jaywalking,
of
you
gum.
get 15.
Yeah,
15.
catch you with open container. It's 15 to 20. There's just a standard mandatory sentence for
across the
everything.
board.
Yeah, we're going to start at 15.
Across the board, you get minimum 15.
That's right.
For anything.
That's it. What else can I?
One
do?
time offense.
I don't have time to screw around with you people. I'm trying to fix the country. I'm
And
trying
you know
to
what
do
happened?
taxes. I don't have time for this.
Everybody would be locked up at once.
Yeah.
No one would be in the city.
Yeah, we'd all be in jail. I
And I
not all
go
of us,
clean
but
up that
most people.
neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, start building new real estate there and
Amen. Wow.
move in some different people.
Yeah.
I mean, God.
Then when they get out in 20 years, somebody
then
else is
what?
living in
After
their house.
See, here's the thing that they don't know. They're never getting out, brother.
We're going to tack on some
Make
extra
sure
stuff.
to
when
tack on.
it's
a couple
sorry, it's
extra.
15 to 20 to life.
Right. Like you didn't read the fine print.
You didn't read the fine print. You didn't have a lawyer, so I get it.
And you couldn't read anyway.
God dang.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
where
we
I'm
got-
at with some of this stuff. I look around and it's not just like black culture. We go with anything where we go to a white neighborhood where they're selling meth and they're like the trailer trash like white people.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Or like just
Same.
in general, the what's it called? It's like a demoralization of just society. People, everything's just,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy right now. In Western civilization and other places too. Australia's kind of like that. I've heard from people that live there. I don't, I've never been there, but I've heard their government's really woke and liberal. Canada's like that, where they're just like, let's just let stuff slide. I saw an article today. Wait, was that you? Who sent that to me? Where they were like, these parents, they'll go to the hospital and they're like, oh,
Jason did.
Yeah, she's like, fill out this gender thing for your kid. What gender is your baby? What orientation
you think
is your
it's
baby?
gay or lesbian? They're asking.
Identify your babies. I was like, what
See, those people need a 20-year bid too.
I was like, you need to go to jail for just for coming up with
asking me this. Who wrote up this questionnaire?
Yeah, I'll throw you in jail.
Who's gonna look at this baby and be like, oh, he looks straight to me?
And then someone's gonna come out and be like, no, this one's after Tip.
Yeah.
Look at the way his hair is like laying down. He must be gay.
I know he just got born, but he shouldn't have styled his hair like. Yeah, it's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
This is a crazy episode.
And then and what's eventually gonna happen is they're gonna come out and be like, I was assigned gay at birth, but I identify as straight.
And it's a man. You're like, come on, this is wild.
This is just insane.
Like, imagine that. It's so weird that they're doing that, but they're literally like, that's what they were revolting at, is assigning it at birth. And now they're like, I want you to sign it. Like, literally sign it.
What is he? What does he agree? What does he identify as? I'm like, the baby can't talk. The baby.
So you have to wait for him to talk to figure it out?
Look at the baby's genitalia.
No, because that could still be a woman.
Could be.
I'm going to go back to the biblical version. Is it over? I'm thinking about it now. If you guys look back in the Bible, there are a lot of times where, especially in the Old Testament, his solution is just wipe the slate clean. It's not actually to change people or influence them in a positive direction. Remember the Israelites or whatever, they're about to go into the new land where he's like, just kill everybody, animals included. Don't keep any of the
God's approach.
Burn everything.
Honestly, Old Testament God was actually, he was just like, I'll just wipe it out.
I'll just clean it
up.
up.
God was a thug back then.
Dude, honestly.
God was not playing around with people.
Literally had no patience.
Should really scare us why he's been so quiet lately.
Yeah, that's actually.
It's funny to me to think of that as like, maybe even like angels or whoever else that like coming to him. They're like, Lord, all this stuff's going on earth. What do we do? And he's like, look, guys, I'm gonna be honest. There's no fixing this. I got some water over here. If you guys just want to, dump that.
No, he already wrote it. He's like, it's in Revelation. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna burn all of them. He's like, I've had enough. He went on vacation at this point. That's why we're like, where is he? How come he's not?
He's like, no, I'm gonna burn him in a little bit.
He's like, yeah, I've got it scheduled to burn in like a couple more years because this is over. I'm done playing this game. I tried. Their hearts and thoughts were evil continuously, brother. I'm out.
So that means they woke up and they're like, what evil can I commit today?
It is actually very interesting, that line in the scripture. I know we need to wrap this up, but it's like, it says, every thought of their imagination was only evil continually. So no good, so only evil. Yeah. Every thought.
How do you manage that?
And then all the time. That means they never saw the sun and thought, wow, that's beautiful. No one thought that.
They're like, hey, we got to make sure while the sun is up, we kill all these people and rob and steal and pillage. Because when it goes down, we can't see what we're doing.
Yeah, we can't see what we're doing. Ain't got no light.
And I'm taking his beautiful sun. It's like, I need this sunlight to commit my crimes. Later tonight, if I have to light a fire, I guess, to kill people, I'll do that.
But, don't want to go too far out of my way.
I'm trying to get some sleep, too. It's just crazy.
Now, do you guys think that, because now we're talking about fires and stuff, did they have technology back then or not? What was the Tower of Babel or whatever? Remember they were doing it?
Yeah, we were all
because I looked back at that. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, what tower? I was like, just let them build it. What are they going to build it? Tower to space? Let them build it.
We might have, Seth. God thought we were.
God said they were. He said, and nothing would be withheld from them because it was like, and that's what's crazy.
We were all of one language.
Yeah, people lived a lot longer. They were ultra intelligent.
Cooperate right now is the reason that we're not successful, as a world, globally, is because we're not able to all cooperate with each other.
Yeah. What do you mean successful? You mean we'd be able to fly out?
What I'm saying is we're at war with each other, like a house divided cannot stand.
Spending imagine if we were spending all of the energy that was going to our military.
Imagine if we didn't need that.
Imagine if we were all together, every country in the world, all the people were all together.
We're all
let's
citizens
build
of the
one
same.
really great rocket ship. Imagine what everyone on the planet
Elon Musk can already do that right now.
No, he ain't at Mars yet.
Because they're gonna try. Yeah.
And guys, I've never really understood it. I'm like, where's heaven? If you built a super advanced rocket
It
ship,
was
and you're
probably a
we
rocket.
We can fly anywhere for,
I mean, he didn't say when they would get there, but he said they will.
They could have been
Where is
building a
heaven?
rocket.
It looks like a tower.
Which
Yeah.
direction though are you going? Like, depending on which side of the globe you
brother.
up from
It's
where
just
though?
out to space. You're just going out.
We're going out there.
To
we're gonna
black space.
we're going to find
Yeah.
God.
I mean, we've been there now.
We're going to find.
Hey,
him.
so this ain't Mass Effect, all right?
I mean, it could be. Maybe God's the Reaper.
And even they couldn't get to space. We were trying to run from, extinction.
All right, we got to clean this
been
episode
clean.
We've
up.
gone off
This
into
is
the
clean.
weeds, but
Anybody closing thoughts on the After Dark show, BTG?
that's the scary thing to me. That would be my afterthought, is that I think sometimes I look at the state of the world, I'm like, man, I think it's kind of over. I was talking to somebody about that, and I was like, there's solutions. I just don't think it's, I don't think people want to do right. I think that, especially when it comes to governments and
You don't have to think.
organizations,
That's a real thing.
I'm like,
People
that's
don't.
just, they don't want to do right.
Facts.
They're like, we're making money, we're controlling people. I want to keep doing this.
That's where we live now. That's the world we live in.
And people are under some delusions,
Yeah.
I don't know if there is any fixing it.
I mean, biblically, there's not. It's all going to burn. So.
Yeah.
Just have to have the punishments lined up accurately. Oh, there we go. God's
Come on,
telling
Seth.
us.
This light keeps going on.
I know. I got to do
This was
something
not.
about
This
that.
must be after dark, not during the dark. So.
Because I thought this
All right.
was literally an After Dark
All
show.
right.
We're
Clean.
getting out of here. Si, any closing thoughts?
This has been clean.
Clean episode.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Seth.
Yeah.
Clean. We'll
Yes.
get you some coffee now, man.
It's a nice
Amen.
studio. We could
Stay
chill.
edited. We'll see you
That's
guys.
one thing I would say I love about this. It's just a chill spot. We
chill.
can just come and
It's
hang out in the
chill.
studio.
Bro room.
It's
Wait
got
till I get
coffee.
that up and running for the fights.
Oh, man.
That'll be
clean.
crazy.
That's going to be clean.
Then I'm gonna get another mic set up over there for Corey, and Corey's coming in. We'll do a fight night with Corey and him.
Yeah.
Come on, it's gonna get wild, son.
It's gonna be
I'm
crazy.
drinking. Then we're gonna look like those people who should
Yep.
get 20.
We'll just stay right in here.
All right,
I'll
we're
do about
out.
20.
We're out.
We can start at 15.
We're out.
15. Let's start at 15. See you guys.
All right.
What's cooler than that?
Well, keep it simple, stupid.